Okay, let's read up some texts, man, because we'll get back to that one in a bit. Okay, this is from Princess. Sweet Minty with the beautiful voice and even more beautiful man. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Princess. I'm wishing you all good things for the coming year. I wish you peace, good health, wisdom, protection, and happiness. I want you to be blessed with universal positive vibrations that will make you stronger than ever. With all my heart, I give thanks to you for being there to give positive and uplifting messages without fail every week. Much love to you, and much love to you, Princess, as well. Jammers is looking at me thinking, what? Princess was in a bit of a stressed state a couple of weeks back, and she, not to go to labour the point, but she wasn't feeling very good, and she spoke to us on the show, and we tried to give her some good positive advice. Another sister called Julia, I believe, may have spoken to you, Princess, and I know she said some positive things to you, and I'm glad to see you still here, Queen, that's all. And just stay here, as we need you. We need your energy. We need these types of vibrations that you're promoting. You're playing your part, Queen, and you need to keep on playing it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying, man. You're playing your part, Princess, and you need to keep on playing it. And especially the part where you say stuff like, this is the crux of the stuff here, where you say "Sweet Minty" with the beautiful. And even more beautiful.
I might as well go home now, I might as well go home now.
Say more of that, please. Yeah, Princess. Thank you so much. And this is mine and Jammer's responsibility, and it's our duty to be here as much as possible to uplift you. There's not. What are we going to do with our lives if we can't help others?
It has to be a winning team, that winning team, that means everybody
wins. It's the African way, Brethren, because like we said, the first concept, unity. When someone's roof falls, everybody in the town comes to help and build the roof back up, man. If we have 6 holes, when 6 men need to dig the hole, 6 men don't dig 6 individual holes. No. We all help dig one hole, then the second hole, and because we work in unity and togetherness.
When we're getting food, we're getting food for everybody.
Everybody, Brethren.
And that expands your ability, because you're not just thinking for yourself.
Absolutely, bro. So, you're always welcome, Queen. Yeah. So, and don't thank me. Don't thank me. Thank yourself, because you did what you needed to do. Yeah. We're just a little shot in the morning, man. A little green tea for you to drink. You give yourself the energy, Queen. Me and Jammers can't take credit, because we're just honouring our ancestors.
Because basically life is like a catalyst. So basically you already got there's something in you that's driving you towards something, and then you bounce off other people that is a catalyst to drive you to where you need to be, but you have it in you already. It's just that the catalyst releases your own potential that you have.
Yeah, absolutely, Queen. We're just making you aware of your wonderful energy and the wonderful opportunities that you have and the potential you have. That's all we're doing, man. You're taking the step, so keep on taking that next step, Queen, and that next step, Princess. Yeah, don't ever stop, because we're with you forever more, man. So we got your back. You don't know. So thank you for that, Princess. This is from 924. Brothers, please can you help us to awake the inside? Power bless. I hope that's what we're doing, 924, to awaken the inside. You know what I mean? Because that's, to me, there's a saying that we can't move the masses until the mistake people have made in the past. They've tried to move the masses without edifying them from within first. The revolution has to start within your mind first.
So you have to. It's really the battle is within your own mind first. Absolutely. So your own unseen energy, you have to utilize that before anything else can happen. It's just like you're trying to get someone to follow you, and you haven't even got a house and they've got a house, and you're trying to get them to follow you, and they've got a house and you ain't got a house. They're not going to follow you. So basically, once you've got that essence of within yourself, and you've got that ability, then you lead by example. You'll have a manner about you that other people will just move to you, because they don't know what it is, but they just want to be like you. And it's for you developing your own withinness, your own potential.
Well, what it is, bro, and I agree with what you're saying. I think that what we see in others is really what we've got in ourselves, basically. So if you admire Muhammad Ali, which we all do, it's because there's something within us which is like what Muhammad's got. Maybe we haven't brought it forth, basically, educed it, if you like. We haven't brought it out of ourselves. So you are it. So all the people who like this show, you're not fans of me, you're fans of yourself. You're not fans of jammers, even though I'm a fan of jammers. But you're fans of yourself, though. Do you understand? That's what you've got to recognise. The great things you see in other people, in jammers, in myself, whatever you perceive, is the greatness already, which is already in you, and it's just resonating.
And I've spoken to Brother Edison, who's a powerhouse on this level. And basically, if you listen to this, let's just listen to this now. I want you to be conscious of this. Anytime you meet somebody, they're talking to you. They're conversing with you. What are they doing? They're giving you messages. So anytime somebody speaks to you, your journey in life is the messages that people are giving to you and how you utilize these messages. They're giving you some inkling of your potential. And as Brother Minty was saying, you'll see something, and there's something in you that likes Muhammad Ali or likes Usain Bolt. And the reason why you like it, because there's an energy that you're attracted to. And that is, you have that potential within you.
Absolutely, bro.
Like attracts like.
That's absolutely right, bro. So we have to recognise that, we're just here to give you that shot in the arm. That's all. Our duty and responsibility is to encourage our people to awake from the inside first, as within, so without. And that is the greatest thing, man.
And if you look at the word recognise, means to go back, cognate means movement, and eyes. So when you recognise it, you're going back with your eyes to see how you can move towards something, the rhythm that you're supposed to apply to something. Because even you have kung fu, remember the old kung fu movies? Now when you're walking in the street, you've got that little bounce with you, or you see a good dancer, you've got that little move. So it's to get back your rhythm, your memory back, your memory back. Mori means your darkness. Darkness, inside the word darkness is the word arc, because you're a carrier of all chemicals. You come from every chemical, you can call it into essence.
Yeah, man, we have to realise that we've been fooled by real lies.
And we've got to use our real eyes
exactly, to see the real lies.
The lies in the eyes.
We've got to realise that there's real lies. Let me start that one again.
I'll let you say that one again.
Okay. There's three real eyes. I've just got to get them in the right order. But I hope you realise what I'm trying to say. You've got to use your real eyes to realise the real lies that have been fostered against our people.
And if you look at the word real, means to go back, and you're left with the sound all. So when you go back and you can see all of something, you know what's real from what's not real.
Very interesting, bro. So 924, we're always gonna be on the journey to awaken our people, and I am looking forward to the day we stop. But when that day happens, it's going to be great, because that means everybody will be awake and we can start, enabling the work as opposed to just trying to wake people up.
Where we're going to look at all ways to make our people get to greatness in any way possible. Yeah, that's good.
We're going to always look to all ways to take our people,
so we can all raise. So we can all raise.
Right,
and all rays, if you look at a ray of light, all different rays, it's all our differences giving different lights. So you get the 360 degree to see the real lies, so we can see the real lies in all ways, so we can always rise like the sun rise. When your eyes is open, you will rise.
And the sun is like an eye, isn't it, actually?
It's the eye of light.
Yes,
that it's called the third eye. So that's how, because our ancestors are not gonna, and our essence of life is not gonna just leave us without the instruction manual, deserted on the road. Our instruction manual, as I always say, is the light. What you see in the morning. That's your instruction about who you are. You have a light that manifests a fire in you. The fire causes a vibration that manifests a reality.
Funny, because they say the universe starts with the sun, and the light within you is the beginning of all your success, isn't it?
Well, basically, before the sun, there was the unknown, what the brother was talking about. So the unknown essence of knowledge released the sun. It's based on the principle of the woman giving birth, because the woman in the opposite of the sun is the moon, and the moon, if you look at the moon, you can see the light in the darkness. So the mother, look at the word mother, you've got a moth. What does a moth do? A moth goes towards the light.
Absolutely.
So the mother takes the light from the darkness so that the children can shine, can use the sun to shine. So that's basically, it's like a male, it's a complementary, like opposite principle. This is the Kemetic science of the unknown, what the brother was talking about. It's like a male-female principle that the woman brings light into the darkness so that the male can use that light to shine. And that's how we work together.
Absolutely.
When the Europeans have taken the work, they talk about the sun, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Ghost. There's no female in that equation.
Yeah.
You know, so, and if you follow that equation, you're not going to be able to see the light in the darkness or shine.
Well, hear the joke, right? And this is what I've said to someone, and I know they didn't like it. That I'm saying this is the facts. That and this is it's clear from this. Their Trinity and our Trinity, man, woman, and child. So what they've done is they've taken the female out, and made the Holy Ghost, which is the energy in all of us, really, isn't it? Which is the real energy. So the Son, no, because the Son is really the S-U-N, not the S-O-N. The Father is what. That's your patriarchal view. Well, that's your patriarchal view. Because you've left the female out.
Well, basically, they haven't actually really done that, but we don't really realise it. They're still using our principles, but they blind us to us. Because basically, if you look at the word, our ancient word atom, which is like unseen, A-T-U-M, at comes from the father, comes from mother. So in the word atom, you've got the male and female. In the word Adam, Genesis chapter 5 verse 2, God's made male and female and called them Adam. So you have to have the male. You have to have the male. 2 verse 5. Yeah. You have to have the male and female, or the complementary, to create life. And it's in there, but we're not conscious to see it. Look at the word father. You'll see fat her. A fat her is a pregnant woman that gives birth. So they're still using the same Kemetic principles, but we're unconscious to the concept that they're still using. And if you're unconscious, you can't see the essence of life that's in that father principle.
Okay, but remember though, bro, in chapter 2 of the Bible, without going too much into the Bible, that came second after the Genesis 1. There's a creation story in there which is more in line with the African, because if you recall it says men and women, he created them together, or they created them together. That's the African way. In the original African creation story from Memphis, Fatah made Atom, made the earth. Men and women were created the same way as we see in Genesis 1. Yeah. The reason I say that those individuals are patriarchal is because they made Adam first. Actually, the second creation story which you've mentioned, Adam is made first, he sleeps, they take the rib out of Adam, remember, and put it in the woman.
No, sorry, what's patriarch mean?
It means no, it's okay, bro. I mean,
and some people might not know.
It just means like a man controlling, patriarchal father figure. Men rule society, basically. Yeah,
okay.
Men run things, basically. So, like in Africa, we know society was matriarchal.
Yeah.
Ma'at was one of the main concepts that was represented as a female. The first female goddesses are the most important letters, Isis and Hathor. The first one praised was Hathor, was a female. So the female concept was well known and well respected. And even in the fact we had a lot of female leaders, which you didn't see in Asia, you don't see that in China, you don't see that anywhere really, except really in Africa. Not just female leaders, but great female leaders. So because
that is the concept of unknown, is that it's a concept of external and it's internal.
Absolutely, bro.
Because the female brings the unseen to light so that the light can shine, and you have an unseen base of knowledge that you're unaware of. It's the same male-female principle that makes you shine. You see, so there's a concept going in you. This is the high Kemetic principles, that you have an unseen, like a female. So the female that you see in front of you is a representation of that. You have an unseen knowing inside of you. That's what the female represents, and the male is taking that, can shine with that,
and using it to in the practical way.
Yeah.
So the woman is the in and the man is the out.
And basically, this is when you see a female. The female is giving you your knowledge of your unseen knowing.
Yeah.
When a female sees a male, the male is giving the female the knowledge of the ability to make things shine. So the manifestation of the female is in the male, and the manifestation of the male is in the female.
No,
so this is the divine complementary science that we have as a unit.
Yeah, no, absolutely, Bridget. And another thing that you were saying, we were talking about the similarities and cultures, African cultures, black African cultures all over Africa, there was always a male and female concept of the divine. There was always a manifestation in the male and female way. So that's why I have an issue with just calling it the creator. Like it's one dude over there.
Yeah, and it's likeness. But
it's patriarchal.
Yeah.
Do you understand, Bridget?
No, definitely.
It's always a man, and that's the Lord. Definitely. Lord is a man. I've got a problem with that. These are all concepts that we've taken from the Hebrews. The Hebrews, who were patriarchal men,
right,
who were misogynistic men. This is where these quote-unquote God ideas of God come from, these who didn't like women, who took women out of the equation. So I have to ask any woman who's religious, who's a Christian, why would you follow a book which so disrespects women? Because the Bible disrespects women to the fullness, man. And our African culture raises black women up. So why are you going to be bigging up someone else's culture, Jewish, Hebrew culture, which disrespects you? And then your own African culture shows you the maximum respect, and we disregard it. There's something we have to seriously look at that. You know, our culture is our spirituality. We don't need a religion. You need your African self.
Well, as I said, we need we need to focus on these principles now.
Man, yeah.
To first, we can always argue and philosophize after, and I'm always saying that it is the balance between, you know, we need the male needs the female, and the female needs the male. And I'm just saying, definitely, like inside the word atom, they get the word atom, which is ATOM, atom. So we compose of atoms. But absolutely, if you look at the word atom backwards, you get the word, the sound motor. So you need, like, if you're in a place that's all white, you wouldn't recognize the whiteness of the place unless you've got the black in it. So you need the opposites to be able to recognize, and that's what life is about, having two different elements so you can recognize the differences, and then the spark between the differences is the life force. So this is basically nature, what we're talking about. It's not something that is some far-fetched philosophy. It's basically nature, that we have complementary aspects, and the complementary differences recognizing the differences in the complementary aspects is the spark of life.
Yeah. Okay, bro. Well, I mean, even in one of the words they call it in the Igbo, they call the divine Chikwu. Chi means energy, Ka means great or greater, great energy, greater energy. Or Chineke, Chi is the male concept and Eke is the female concept.
Right.
And if you look at a lot of African societies, it's if they have one main name, but they may have a variety of other names they call this, and there's always a male and female concept related to it, bro.
And inside it as well, in the Yoruba, there was a
Oludumare.
The come out of Ifa. Yeah,
so
this is before Christian had the name, or they had the word Eva, which meant life. So even if you look at the word live, you've got the word Ifa. So it's basically this concept of the unknown, which a manifestation of the unknown to the real, and is the female, which brings forth things into consciousness that the male can utilize.
And it's funny, you know, because the word Ifa in Igbo means light, and in Yoruba it means life, and it's or love. It means love as well, if my memory serves me right. Life, you say, love. But anyway, it's very similar, because light, say more light, more life, more love. It's the same difference, man. Light is life. Because without light we're dead, in it, man. If we have no light in here, we can't.
So nature is really just showing you that the power that you have. But it's just that we've been trained to be unconscious, and now we're trying to make you conscious of who you are.
But don't forget, bro, we're living in a society which has always externalized everything anyway. Remember, the resources in nature were very scarce amongst the people, the indigenous people of this country. So their mentality was always to get as much as what they could from the outside. And utilize it, basically. But as you said, we come from an abundant culture where we didn't even have to worry about nothing, man, because what we saw in nature was really within ourselves, basically.
We was given everything.
We have, exactly, that's why we recognize ourselves as having everything. We didn't need to, you know, this is what people. This is a concept that I really want to get clear, that there was no kind of God concept like we have today in this Western society. When people wanted something, they spoke to the ancestors, or they spoke to the oracle, basically, bro. You know what people call the witch doctor or the voodoo, or whatever you want to call it, but they spoke to that individual, man or woman, usually a female. Yeah?
I say, back in our day, everything we wanted was there already.
It was there already. You didn't need to pray or do
pray or nothing.
It was there through the individuals
already.
It was through the people,
through the unit,
absolutely,
through the unit. Because we was unified. We was universe. They've created this word, individual. Listen to the word individual. To come in to divide you.
That's what it is, man.
Individual means to come in to divide you all. We was universal. We were not individuals. We celebrated our so-called uniqueness, which they call differences, but it's uniqueness. Everybody is created with a uniqueness. Now they're saying if somebody doesn't look like you, is flawed. So basically, this is the concept that we have.
Yeah, it's a very unusual world.
And I've just forgotten what I was.
All right, I could see you. It was either that or you stopped talking, but I could see that you'd it was on the stalling thing. But just to go to the word individual, bro. Indie, as you said, indie is right. Independent, singular, and individual, divide, dual. These are all alluding to duality, to twine, twith.
Yeah, and when you give someone an alternative, nature just shows you the strength. There's only one way.
Yeah.
When you got an alternative, what do? You alter the native.
Yes. Which is what they gave us. They gave us an alternative lifestyle to what we were living, and nothing we took it, man. Unfortunately.
And we're still taking it on to this day. Are we going to go to the next principle?
Okay, well, let's read some texts first, man. There's a few texts we're going to read. Look, guys, I've always been broke on road. Every peanut I got goes to just keep my head above waters. This is from Rashkash. Surprises. They're just like our weather. 4 of them in a day, changing mood. Ooh. Life, a way of healing itself. Forcing a solution can make us put a right foot in the pothole. Okay, Raskash, thank you for that. Let's see if there's any others there, man. What's up? I think that's it, man. If you want to call in, because we're gonna got about 10 minutes left, yeah. If you want to call in, the number is 07539 602 999. That's 07539 602 999. Yeah, we've got a text from Diamond there. It says, Maccabee sings about the power of the mind. He says, anything the mind conceive, we can manifest. Anything the mind can see, we can manifest physically. Without the thought, there's no reality. I agree with that 100%. Without the thinking, you can't manifest nothing. You must have an aim. You must have an idea. If you have darts and you don't have a dartboard, you're not going to get any. You're not going to hit your targets because you've got nothing to aim for. You've got to have an aim, and that's very important. And remembering the word aim, we take the I out of aim. It is I am. Your aim is who you are. So you must find your objective, and this is part of what we're saying in the understanding of knowing thyself. It's about finding out who you are, why you're here. You know what I mean? This is part of the concept of knowing self. So yeah, thank you for that text, Diamond there. That's of the greatest importance, what you said. And that's a great song by Maccabee, The Power of the Mind. The next concept we're going to talk about is Ujima, which is collective work and responsibility. Yeah, and that's to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. So to collective work and responsibility, bro, Ujima, to build and maintain our community together and make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and to solve them together. And it's kind of similar to what we were saying about unity. That's when the bread session has the rooftop busted, everybody tries to help.
And it's that everybody works to their potential, you know. Nobody's looking down at each other who's not pulling their weight. Everybody is working to their potential and developing their potential.
But that's the greatest thing, bro, isn't it, man? I mean, if we can encourage everybody to have the potential instead of seeing the ones who are just showing the potential, because that means that everybody has got the ability to be of a certain high standard. You know what I'm saying? And the the word collective, that's an African concept. We mentioned communal, collective, and communal, collective and cooperative are the 3 C's in African society. So collective work and responsibility, that means, again, we're talking about self-reliance, but we're talking about self-reliance in collectives. We get a group of people together to clean up our community. We get a group of people to raise funds so that we can buy our own property, so we can do what we want to do. This is what we call collective work and responsibility, to build and maintain our community together.
And I've got to mention, my friend set up Investors in Partners, which is exactly what's doing that. Is investing in people collectively, helping to build ourselves. So that's another angle. If you've got a business idea, check out Collective Investors in Partners as well. .com.
Yeah. So when we see our brother on road hungry or sister on road hungry, if we can help them, if you can help them, because you can't help everybody, we try to help them. We make our brothers and sisters' problems our problems and try to solve them together. So if we want to help the homeless in Tottenham, or the homeless in Hackney, or the homeless in Alston, that's a fantastic thing. Let's help our brothers and sisters, and let's create the solutions together. And the best person who can know how for solutions for living on the street or anything like that is someone who lives on the street. So that's why, if you're interested in doing things like that, helping people who have got problems and making them our problems, then we've got to speak to these people who have got the problems.
And sometimes as well, like the brother was talking about living on road, that is the wake-up call that you need, because I've been in that situation. That's when you're most aware, your senses become alert, and when you're at the bottom you can see the way up clearly in front, you can see what's in front of you. So sometimes we get too relaxed in our state of inadequacy or comfort zone.
Yes.
And we don't come forth in the comfort zone.
And it's important that we come out of the comfort zone, man, you know what I mean, and not just like say, I'm alright, Jack, which is this is what this society promotes. Remember the yuppie culture in the 80s, bro? Yuppie? You don't remember the yuppie culture? Okay.
Yeah.
Black people wanted to copy the yuppie culture, and then black people were called buppies. And it was when Thatcher was like selling off all the council houses and encouraging people to have their own things. That's what she was doing. That brought in a lack of collective responsibility. People were just thinking about themselves. And this is the exact thing we've got to put a fight upon. This individualistic mentality, which is very Western. It's not African at all.
So I think that 50th anniversary sent a message out to see that we're all the
Kwanzaa,
the Kwanzaa 50th anniversary. I think it changed the game in a certain way, that we started to think big, because the same energy that you use, I remember, like what I found, putting on a house party is the same 24 hours in the day that you can put a stadium show on. It's the same energy, and what that showed is now's the time to start thinking big.
Definitely, bro. Building big. Collective work and responsibility is the way to think big, because me by myself can't do as much as with you jammers, or with me, you and Dougie, or with me, you and
Edison,
and Abba,
and the radio station, where you can't do.
You know what I'm saying? Lady Leo, lots of good different people out there.
Why just have a small piece of the cake when you can have the whole cake?
We'll have the whole cake. What's the point in 100% of 1% when you can have 10% of 100? You know what I'm saying? In the sense that, which is a bigger pie I'm talking about, man, having a bigger piece of the pie.
And that's what they do. They, especially, for example, the sweet shop, the local sweet, they buy the one sweet shop, everybody's moving to that second sweet shop, everybody's moving that to, they all get their own. You know, they're working, they've got this game plan already in process, so everybody's gonna gain.
Reggie, I've seen it in action in Walthamstow when I met 3 brothers, Asian brothers, who had a shop. 3 of them were working in the shop. 3 months later, one of the brothers went missing. I said, where's he gone? We've just set up a shop in Dalston. Okay. 3 months after that, where's the other one gone? Because there was one left in the shop. We've just set up a shop further down the road, selling different things. 6 months they had 3 shops, brethren. They don't blow the money. They're not interested. They're just interested in building, owning their own things, building their own things, being collectively responsibility as a community, so that they can have their own wealth, man, build their own things. It can't be as important as that.
And we have to, because life is a journey. It's a process of teaching. Basically, we used to teach everybody. Everybody used to come to our universities to learn more. Now all our knowledge has been taken. Now it's on the other foot. The example of what to do is right in front of your face. Other communities have taken advantage of the knowledge that you've given them, and they're striving forward. Now is the time to reclaim back that knowledge and that drive and that energy to now collectively work together, as was shown on the 50th anniversary, to expand. And now it's time to think big. And when you think big, you act big, and you can invest big. And that's what we have to do for 2017. Think big.
Think big. And the fewer people of our people have got problems, then the easier it will be to be thinking on a big level. You know what I mean? Because we have less worries and less concerns, and we can just keep all our energy focused on building. So it's important that we have collective work and responsibility, and we make our brothers and sisters' problems our own. Like, for example, the great example Jam has used about the partner system that they have really amongst themselves, essentially. And it's about when the brother says, I want to have a shop, they make it their own problem. Here's a good example, brethren, because this is a place I used to go to a lot, is South LA. So I used to go to South Central, man, down Crenshaw. In Crenshaw, there's in South Central, just on the outskirts of South Central, in more or less the city centre, there's a place called Koreatown. Now, Koreatown is run by Koreans, of course, and they control all the washing laundrette businesses and the reason they did it is the same way those Asian brothers did it, bro. When they saw the brother who come over from Korea, he's got the ambition, but he's got no dough. They all pulled all the money together to help this brother get a business. Every Korean had a business. Every Korean was making money as soon as they touched down there. They knew there was a mind resource, a mastermind where they could get together with people and talk about building businesses. And there was a financial resource where they could get money without going to banks. And they could set up a business which would work because they would direct people to the business, or they would be in an area where they know they're making money already, brethren. They just support each other. They have that collective work and responsibility, and that's absolutely the direction we have to go, man,
and if you look
be
at
successful.
Most of the businesses, what is this? I think we could go to the next one that would include.
Ujama, cooperative economics, to build and maintain our own stores, shops and other businesses, and to profit from them together, which is a good follow-on from what we were talking about. Go on.
And I'll say, if you look at most how the businesses are set up, it's a family thing. It's a family that get together and raise each other and work together. And if you look at most of these places that we're talking about, the people that they have working for them are other family members. We're the only set of people that go and run and work for somebody, because when you work for somebody, you're putting yourself in a state that you could be working for someone for 50 years and just end up with a watch at the end of it. The hardest thing to do is to set up your own thing. But it's the best move to make because everybody else is doing it.
Brethren, Booker T. Washington said that the greatest psychological boost for African people is to have your own things, is to do for yourself. That's the greatest psychological boost you can have as an African. You don't know how liberating and how great a feeling it is to say, I control this thing here, my things, this, man, Fimi things, man. It's such a good feeling to have that, and if you could then turn that business into a cooperative, either get a few more people in as partners in the business, or you use the profits to build another business which is similar to it, just duplicate the business. You can't go wrong. Don't spend the money on buying a big house. Don't spend the money on having a nice ride, a whip. Don't buy clothes, the latest funny guy Euro brand name clothes. Don't buy those. Give them your money who hate you. put it in your own pocket. Try and develop your own codes, develop your own cars, build your own house. If you know what I'm saying, it doesn't mean just because you can't do it now, you can't see what type of house you'd like to live in. Put your energy into yourself. This is what we're saying. And cooperative economics to build and maintain our own stores. We talk about self-reliance all the time, bro. It's so important for us to be thinking in those terms. To be thinking, how can I do something that I love or I'm good at, and I can remunerate myself, I can make money out of this. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with thinking in that way. We should be thinking in terms of making money, but we should be thinking not of money first, but of the service we can offer first to our people. What good we can do in our community.
We've got to think, as I said, the revolution of our financial revolution and spiritual revolution. So this is the finance is just the petrol or the fuel behind it. So basically, as I said, we a king is somebody who, when you're the king of the castle, you command things, you put things into process. We were kings, but now we're all working. So basically, we've fallen under the spell of employment. What does ploy mean? Ploy means a trick. Go and look in the Bible, not the Bible, look in the dictionary. That's another well. So the word ploy means trick. So why do you always run to be employed? Because a ploy means basically, I've got you working for me and I'm giving you a little portion of the money while I sit on my computer and look at the horses, or so basically employ means you've been tricked into working for somebody else and get a small portion while they develop the business and feed their families. So we got to get back our kingship now and start to control things and start to develop our own things and own things on our own way, in our own perspective.
It's got to come from us, but uniquely African. Specifically, especially from us, it can only come that way, bro. You know what I mean? It can only, because that's the only way that we're gonna. Because what we've been doing, too busy copying other people instead of looking at the greatness that comes from us as African people, looking at the greatness that comes from us right now as individuals, the greatness which is not just in us but is us. We're not looking at that. We're always looking at how great other people may or may not be instead of looking how great we are. You know what I mean?
But what is one thing, key element, what we have to understand is that one thing we develop in the business, but the businesses need to offer the service. If we're going to put money towards the business, there's a problem with our businesses, that our businesses, so like when you come into the shop, it's like you're walking into one of them old Western movies.
So hold on, you want to talk about customer service? Because I think it's important to talk about this, bro. You want to talk about customer service and that some of our people could improve, some of our people in business, not all.
I don't think could improve. There's a long way to go.
There's a long way to go. Break it down, bro.
Well, basically, when you go into the other communities and you buy products from them, they have certain tactics. They play music. There'll be a certain standard of hygiene. Their products are of wide variety, and they use certain tactics and strategies that you want to spend money with them. Some of us, when we have a business amongst our own people, we don't have the attitude of providing the service. We have to remember also, we are in competition. When you have a business, you are in competition with rivals. So you have to outstrip the competition, not only with the product, but with the service that you give. Because a lot of when you go into, especially like some of our food shops, the way that the brothers and sisters look at you is like you've committed a crime. And it doesn't really, and the time as well, sometimes you've grown a beard by the time you get your food. So this is an area we have to step up now. It's the time for us to step up and become at the front, the leaders in businesses, services and products. Now let's excel, stop being in the cell and acting like we're unwell, break the spell, and now time will tell if you are right. But the service that you give is what you will get back. So there's no harm in smiling. We've got to raise up our spirit and our self-esteem, because there is a thing that when you do walk, how do you find it when you go to, especially like our food shops, what kind of impression do you get from the people behind the counter?
Well, when I did buy in, because I don't really eat out as much as I used to, bro. Yeah, when I did, so there were certain shops, I think for the most part the service, I found the service okay. I just think we've made it a generalisation to this, especially Caribbean shops, Caribbean people who have food shops. I think that's the essence, is that people are just too coarse, like it's a road thing. And I think that I found most of the shops that I've been to, the people have been okay for the most part. I think the customer service could have been better, but it wasn't the worst, Brethren. It wasn't terrible. But there have been shops I've been into on the odd occasion where this customer service is terrible, where you just ask for a dumpling and they're vexed because you haven't asked for rice and peas with plantain and a piece of fish and some callaloo and everything, you know what I mean? But they're vexed because you only spent the 50 pence in the shop. I said, oh boy. So, you know, it's I think that of course we can improve, Brethren, but I think that we have business people out there. We have people doing very well. Keep up the fantastic work. We love what you're doing.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean,
the
bro?
other side. We do have the other side.
We do have the other side.
We just.
But the points I want to make is that, like, for me, it's for the people who've got the vision, who've got the dream, but haven't manifested it into reality. They're the people I want to push. I want to encourage the ones who are doing it already and keep on doing it. You're doing a fantastic job. We love what you're doing, and I'll be encouraging you till forevermore. That will never stop. But we want to also encourage the ones who are looking to start. Learn as much as you can from other people who are in the area that you want to go into. Learn from the best. See what the best person has done, regardless of the colour, and learn from them as much as you can. Because if you want to be good at it, whoever's the best at it may not be an African. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't look to Africans to learn about the particular field, but learn as much as you can from the greats in the field that you're in.
And another thing, we have to break this attitude they've given us in relation to mistakes, feedback and criticism. Basically, we've been made to feel inadequate because we've already been given low value. So when we get like feedback and criticism and make mistakes, it's like it becomes a complex, but these are actually essential to our development. Feedback, listen to the word feed, it's food. So you're getting something that's going to help you grow. Mistake just means you've missed a chance to take something. So you just have to improve your timing and your procedure next time. And critic is highlighting an element of your business or your person that you could improve on. So these are not bad, what we've led to believe things. These are essential to your development. And that's another thing that we need to sort of, when you're in business, you have to step forward and embrace feedback.
Yeah, absolutely, because you're not going to get good at something if you don't make mistakes or you don't hear from people who can give you benefits in relation to experience relating to your business. So it's always good to listen to people. If you know, I was watching one of the best actors ever, and that's Robert De Niro, and he, you know, one of the things he said is that listen to people. Get advice from a wide variety of people, because you don't know where your best advice can come from. So he used to listen to a lot of people, and that's one of the reasons he's such a great actor. So it's not a bad thing to listen to people. You don't have to accept what everyone says. The greatest thing I'd say is that you listen to people, but do what your mind says to do. Follow your own energy, follow your own vibe, man, regardless of what people say. You must always follow your own energy, man. That's why it's important to know what you want. So we're into cooperative economics. We're into building and maintaining our own stores. We want as many business people out there as possible, and we're going to encourage it to the fullness.
And once again, you can check out Investors in Partners, Investors in People as well. That is developed for us as a community. If you've got a business idea, check out that website.
Okay then. So yeah, so that's important to own our own things, man. We talk about it all the time. Own our shops, stores and other businesses, and to profit from them together. Yes, because one thing about our community is that we are a community people, believe it or not. We do We're known for not just doing things for ourselves as an individual basis. That's not our thing as African people. We're known to, when we get a blessing, we always share it with others. We're always trying to share our blessings and our experiences, our blessings and our experiences, always trying to share them. So it's important that we encourage our people who be successful businessmen and women to share the knowledge, so that we can all benefit from the fruits and our resources in our community. So definitely, we don't want to wax lyrical about cooperative economics, because we talk a lot about it independently on this show, about economic empowerment, about self-reliance, about doing for self. So the next one we're going to talk about is near purpose. To make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. So to make our collective vocation is your job, the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. Now purpose, it's interesting, bro, because purpose, even though it says to make our collective the building and developing of our community, the real building and developing we have to do is our minds.
You just took the words out of our mouth, especially the young minds. We have to take responsibility to develop our young minds, because what we're doing, we've seen the results of when we leave our young ones in the hands of the education system, and you can see the behaviour of our young ones now is worse as technology and society is supposed to be advancing. Our young ones now are becoming more and more down the scale when it comes to the way they react with their elders and amongst each other. So we have to set up a task force really and take back the education of our young ones and turn it into elevation.
Well, that purpose, I love the word and the concept of purpose, bro, because that's got to be our purpose, is to build ourselves up and to build our community. And this is excuse me, this is essentially what Nia is talking about. And if you notice, in all the concepts of Kwanzaa, we're talking about collectives. We're doing things together. We're not doing them as individuals. We're doing them in groups. We're doing them as a community. We're doing them as a race, as a people, so we can help others. And like I said, it's important to restore our people. It's the mindset that we have to restore first and foremost, and that's why then with purpose, it must be our purpose to develop educational facilities for our people. So in these events that we'll be doing, the presentations on African history, the events, the radio road shows, and also the upliftment events, because I'm going to sort something out for the end of February, beginning of March, where we're going to be doing an event where we'll be having a couple of more motivational speakers, which is the MO of this show essentially, is to motivate you, is to encourage you, is to uplift you, is to inspire you to be the very best you can be. And that's what the events will be about. So just keep your ears and eyes open for that. I'm going to be giving you the details in the next few weeks. But certainly, purpose, education, it must be our purpose to educate the minds of our young people, but not just our young people, but essentially them, because they're the future. If we don't have a purpose to say we want to leave a legacy and we want to leave this place a better world than when we came into it, then what are we doing here? What are we doing if we're not trying to restore the greatness of our people from the past and make it a present day thing? What are we doing? So this is what purpose means. To make our collective vocation, our job, our responsibility, the building and developing of our community. But remember, it starts in the mind. If we don't build our minds first, it's just a total waste of time.
Yeah, that's basically, you said everything really on that one for me, you know. But part of it is, in the word purpose, is the word poise, which is the posture.
Pose, yeah, you're right. Pose, position.
Position of your posture.
That's right, bro.
So even the way you stand, the way you slouch, that even brings up another kind of energy. Because even when I was first coming into my higher wisdom, is even just the way you stand. If you stand, you're already bringing another energy of the people in the room on yourself. So the way you pose and stand up with yourself, just by the way you stand, attracts a certain kind of energy. And we have to have a respectful energy about us when we're meeting other people. So just by that affects your environment.
Well, that's a good thing you've said there, bro, because purpose is poise. You must have poise, yeah, and that must be our poise, our position, Our pose is to make and restore our people to their traditional greatness. That's the only thing that's important. That when we're gone, the youths who come after us say, that generation was fantastic. They did a lot of amazing things. They're a generation that we can hold up as as example of greatness. Like Garvey's held up, like Malcolm X has held up, like Harriet Tubman or Nani or Anand Zinga held up. We must think in terms just like that. They came for us, so because they're great, we have to be great, and that's because I don't think we've only got a couple more to do because we're actually gonna leave, and I said 10 minutes, and that was 20 minutes ago. So time just flies. Okay, so purpose, to make our collective vocation the building and developing of our community in order to restore our people to their traditional greatness. That's what we want from this show. We want you to be the great person that you're supposed to be. This society has beaten you down, has knocked you aside, has tried to marginalise you. Them days are over, because we've got a resource, we've got information that we can input in our minds, as opposed to the negativity this system tries to show us. The information is that we are kings and we are queens, we are divine, we are a success, we have all the things we need within us to get what we want out of this life, and nothing can stop you. So remember that. Yeah, so okay, Kumba, creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way we can in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited it. Creativity, bro. It's very important that we look, again, it's looking within ourselves. It's all these inner resources that talk about Kumba, to do as much as we can. So it's about, again, what we say again, finding the greatness within yourself. Do as much as you can. You've got to bring that beautiful, amazing talent, multi-level genius that you've got within you. You've got to bring out that genius. It's the most important thing you've got to do with your life, and it has to be brought out, because we have to make our community a better place. It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that.
Yeah, basically that's it. It's to have a great day. You know, why wait for tomorrow or whatever? You can have a great day even when you're unemployed and broke. You can have a great day being unemployed and broke. You can have a great day, you know, just surviving. You know, make it good, as best as you can. You can make it a great day.
That's right, because a person who's broke, there's always someone who's broke. You only got £10. You've got two ways you can look at it. You can be negative and go, I've only got £10, and complain. Or you can say, this £10 is going to turn into £100, it's going to turn into £1,000, it's going to turn into £1 million. That's the attitude you can have as well. You know what I'm saying? And you're more likely to become successful having that positive attitude than going, oh, I've only got £10. Because you're not going to see any opportunities, are you?
And basically, you're the star of your own movie. You're the star of your own movie. So basically, you can say, let's see how well you're going to survive the day with this £10. So you're like in the James Bond movie, there's only one right move to make. So basically, there's one right move to make. So when you're in a situation, focus on finding that one right move.
That's right, man. That's right. So it's Kumba, creativity, to do always as much as we can in the way that we can, in order to leave our community more beautiful and beneficial than we inherited. Again, it's about leaving a legacy. That's what Kumba means, creativity. What can we manifest so that our children can recognize that we were great and we were worthy to be called amongst the ancestors? We've left a legacy. We've left something amazing for them to stand up. We've left shoulders that they can climb on. What are we going to say? Because if we're not doing anything, then we can't complain about the young people, them, you know. We can't do anything if we're not trying to make our community better. And a lot of our people are doing some fantastic things out there. But is our community in a better place than what it was? Do we want it to be better? Could it be better? If it could be better, it's up to us to make it better. So that's our aim, is to make it better for the children, man. My daughter has to have a better life, has to have a great life, has to. It's imperative that I see the world full of Africans who are happy. We're not harassed by police. We've got a lot of businesses on road. There's economic empowerment in our community. We're happy, and this is all over the world. I see this, Bridget. And we're not getting sweated by the cops. The cops can't trouble us because there's a powerhouse, a financial, cultural, social powerhouse backing all black youths on road, regardless of where they're from. And so they're not quick to trouble black people again, because there'll be economic and backlashes and otherwise.
But you said it all there.
But that's why they trouble us, because we've got no backlash in it, man. They don't trouble Chinese, don't kill Chinese on road, don't kill the Jews on road, do they? They don't even kill the Asians on road, do they? It's only I they kill on road, and they've got more reason to pick on Asians because of all this terrorism and stuff they're talking about, But they still deal with us horrifically. You know what I mean, bro? The way Donald Trump was talking, and they still were shooting black men. They weren't troubling Muslims, not to say they should. I'm just saying we've always been targets for them and for their nonsense. So them days are over, man. It's time for us to build, man, and to recognise that we have the potential. The power is in your hands. You've got 2 hands, 2 feet. You can do anything you want to do. No one can't tell you. It doesn't matter what you think. The facts are, if you want to get up and you want to go and apply and do a course and becoming a lawyer, you can start that process. No one can't tell you, no matter what you think today. No one can't tell you. If you want to get up and do it, you can do it, man. The power is in your hands, man. Don't be sad. The future is bright. The power is right in your hands, man. Don't be sad. The future is bright. About this, and we're going to leave on this one. Imani. It's the concept of faith or confidence, I like to say. To believe with all our hearts in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Well, I don't really work. I work off facts and evidence, and we've got evidence of the past that when we applied Kemetic principles, we were kings. And that's what we need to put in process now. We need to go back to our traditional principles, which was the essence of Kwanzaa, is to, while you have a movement, you still have to bring in your traditions as well to give you your identity. When you've got your identity, then you're moving in the right direction. You're moving towards your roots and who you really are. So basically, we've got evidence. We've got great inspirational leaders, Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, who've got actual factual evidence that when we put things into action, they manifest.
That's right. It's not an argument, is it? How many people on this planet could create an organisation like Garvey, or like the Rasta movement or Liberty, which is all over the world? How many people, which people from China created something that is spiritually and artistically effective like Rasta or Garvey or any? And what did they do? If they did bring something like the martial arts, then they got that from I.
Well, even the fastest man on the planet,
What are you saying?
You say the most skilled, inventive boxer on the planet.
What, Floyd? Muhammad Ali?
Floyd Mayweather, or the most skillful footballer.
Pele.
On the planet. So there's evidence. There's not even a thing to.
Well, that's just sports, bro.
That's just sports. But the next revolution is the revolution of the mind. So imagine now if we apply that to business, the 7 principles, yes. Because we've had the doors been open slightly in sports for us, and music, and even a little bit in acting for us to develop, and dancing. So imagine now we have started applying that to these principles that we've just spoken about today.
No,
where we're going to be going.
Yeah, we're going to go far, man. And to me, and as you've said it, bro, the reason why Imani is important, the concept of faith or confidence, is to have confidence in all our hearts in our people. That's why, the last week's show where we had a few callers who may have been seen as troublesome, people will say, oh, you dealt with them well, Minty, you dealt with them. I love my people, and even though I may not agree with anything you say, I love African people.
And so that's the principle. The key principle is we celebrate our differences, or we don't call it different, our uniqueness, because somebody sees things from another angle, then you get 360 degrees worth of vision and insight. So when you can work together with people who have differences, because we're all different anyway.
But it's we have to be different, King. We have to respect and honor the differences. But we have to remember that we have to work under the principles of this Kwanzaa.
It's all about principles.
It's like what Garvey said: one God, one aim, one destiny. One God, Wow, I know why he said that. We're not going to argue about that, yeah? One God means one aim, to be honest. Because that's what, when the Muslims talk about God, Allah, or when the Christians talk about Jesus, that it's one idea they have about this person, you understand, bro? So that idea is their aim, basically, is to live like Jesus, is to worship Allah, or live according to Allah. And what I'm saying is that the aim for us is race first, brethren, is to economically empower ourselves.
Well, I wouldn't even say race, I'd say raise first. We've got to raise ourselves, because everybody's racing after us. We don't need to race, because we were the winners in the first place. Everybody else is racing to get to our position. That's why the human race, they're racing after the human, the man who was humane, the man that was refined, the man that had hue as a color of their skin. So everybody is racing after the human. We don't need to race. We need to rise up and elevate and become conscious.
Yeah. We're not talking about running the race. We're talking about loving ourselves first. That's what it means, bro. Race first. And also, of course, and that includes knowledge of African self, brethren, studying your history, knowing your identity, establishing your personality. Because once you know your history, you want to assert yourself. You want to make your mark in this world, because you realize there's nothing else to do. You come from a great people, and you want to manifest that same greatness because you know it's in you, basically.
And basically, it's even more than like the knowledge and knowing the history. It's applying the principles that made us great in the first original place that everybody else is starting to use fragments of. So it's actually applying these principles that are proven to work once you know how to decipher them in the correct manner, which is what we're trying to do here on Conscious Radio.
Absolutely. We have to study the people first, see what made them great, and then apply that same greatness, because really sometimes you can only see the greatness in you when you see it in somebody else first. So when you see someone's great, you just want to be great yourself. You recognize you're great. You're just trying to find a way how to apply that greatness. Okay, so that's Kwanzaa. So the last concept was Imani, to believe with all our heart in our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. And that's very important too, because our liberation is we're not trying to hurt nobody. We're just trying to be free in every single way, socially, politically, economically, culturally. We want to be free to express ourselves in any way we choose to, and we don't want to be held down or subjugated by this terrible system. You know what I mean? That means it's important to create our own things in our own way, so that we're not subject or victim to any system, but we manifest our own system.
And if you look at it, it's just the facts, and no other race of people is going to work for another race of people except for us, really. So it's time for us now to start. And we've got evidence that it's our wealth that everybody's running after, because they've got shops in our communities, because we spend the biggest on fashion, the most money in fashion, because we used to be kings, so we still used to living like kings. So we're spending the biggest car, even if you've got a bed sit, you've got the biggest car, you've got the most chain, the most gold, and you're spending the most on your health products and your hair products. So basically, we have the wealth already. We just need to invest it in ourselves.
In ourselves, bro. That's it, basically. That's it. So Imani, faith, confidence in yourself. And if you notice with these Kwanzaa principles, if you've actually observed them, they don't ever mention anything about God, bro.
Well, as I said, we can leave these things out. Theories, philosophy. We can leave. Basically, we're on a survival at the moment where we are, where we're getting shot left, right, and centre. No food, no jobs, because computers. We're on a survival mission now. So basically, we need food, we need shelter, we need to educate ourselves, and we need to build buildings and protect ourselves. These are the key elements that we need to do. When we've got time after that, then we can start discussing about other things.
Sure. Philosophical ideas, but right about now, that's not even important, really, because the most important thing is that we recognise within ourselves that we have the powers, and when we recognise that, which is what the principles are trying to allude to, which is what Rasta's talking about, which is what Garvey was talking about. We're talking about the upliftment of the individual, that you are a man. You are a woman, and you have a right to be here on this earth, to be treated with equal rights and justice. But if you want to change this world, essentially, what Garvey said, and what Rastafari is saying, and what Kwanzaa is saying is that we have to make that change ourselves. It's that simple. And if we're not going to do that, nothing's going to change. So people can talk about, philosophize about God as much as you want to, because I don't see no changes as much as you're talking about the Creator, the Most High, God, Lord, whatever you want to call it. The practical solutions is what's going to make changes for us. Simple as that. If we're not recognizing that, we're not recognizing that we have to do something practical to make those changes, we're going to be in the same condition all the time. I certainly don't intend to be one of those people, though, who's not making any changes.
And the first step I want you to make, as well as to our event that we're having on the 29th on the 29th of January, the Speakers Club will be presenting a special show relating to Kwanzaa, successful black organizations, and how to reinvest in our community, creating another Wall Street. Then that's on the 29th of January, and it's at the Burning Ground Arts Centre, Town Hall Approach Road, N15 4RG.
Okay.
Just stay tuned to Brother Minty's show for details and information. But the first step I want you to take is now to focus on effective knowledge.
Yes.
When I'm talking about effective knowledge, I want you to be conscious of this. Is the first step. It's knowledge that you can use to put food on your table.
That's right. What skill do you have that can remunerate you is something we've said consistently, because the way the things are going, these people ain't going to try and make anything easy for you. So now is the time for you to find what skills you have, what have confidence. You would talk about faith and I believe confidence in yourself, man. That's what you've got to do, to know, say, you can achieve what you need to achieve financially, socially, politically, and otherwise. You have the power. That's the eternal message we're going to be manifesting. And also, my man hit it on the head, as I said earlier. We have to bring these things to reality. Mm-hmm. It's about applying the knowledge correctly. As in the beginning, so shall it be in the end, he say. The beginning, we said, Bob said, wake up and live, bring your vision to reality. And that's what the concept of Imani also means, that we're going to have confidence, we're going to have faith that these things that we desire will come to reality.
That's right. Don't fall in love with ineffective knowledge. Too many of our leaders, I'm not going to even name and shame, or ourselves, are caught up in knowledge that we cannot use whatsoever, like Kardashians, or what's happening in certain place, or the star signs, or certain elements in history. We can quote all the quotes and talk for days, but we cannot use that knowledge in any way to put any food on your table. Right, so the first step is to look for knowledge that you can use, effective knowledge that you can use to manifest putting food on your table.
That is the most important thing there, man. So yeah, we're gonna just read some texts. A couple of texts before we go. We're gonna be finishing off there. This is from 143. Hey Rasmint, Happy New Year, all the best for 2017. Kieran Fearon. Thanks a lot, Kieran Fearon, and enough respect. I hope you're well, my brother. But if you were here listening before, what we said is that January the 1st is the Haitian celebration of Haitian independence, and that's what we're going to be celebrating from now on. Not no New Year for them things. We're going to celebrate our own things. Haitian New Year, man. That's the new lick, man. But thank you for that, Kieran. Enough respect to you, and I hope you're well. Let's see, this is from Cash. Okay, without capital, our dreams lay and die on our doorstep. Not necessarily. I've started businesses without a penny, bro. You know, you can set up websites for free. And you could set up, here's an example of something you could set up. It's called drop shipping. I'm not going to go too much into drop shipping, but that's something you could actually do for free. You don't even need to pay to set that up, Regin, but you can make money out of drop shipping. Go and look up what drop shipping is. People Google it. Yeah, and then see for yourself. And I won't say too much on that. But just that's something that you can do without money. There are ways and means. If you've got a way, you can even look in your own house and sell stuff in your own house. Make that money and then invest that into a business. There's always a way, Bridget. Where there's a will, there's a way. That's my attitude. But if you give up and say without money you're finished, then that's exactly what you're going to be like, Bridget. Remember, we've got to speak into being what it is we want. So speak into being what you determine, and whether it's physically there or not, expect it to come by some cook or by crook. And I'm not saying having a belief in God that God's going to give you this thing. I'm saying that your energy is the power. That's what I'm saying. So start by thinking what you want, and let's see what happens, man, and keep the focus on that. All right, on that note, we're going to call it that, bro, because it's been a long shift again, man.
Yeah, respect.
I'm tired, man. It's 12 o'clock, I'm tired. Oh boy, man. Okay.
Yeah, so we talked about the elements of Kwanzaa, running a successful organization, what you need to do independently and spiritually to develop yourself before you can develop anybody else. So the first step is from within. And also we talked about you've got unseen, unknown potential to achieve whatever you need to achieve. It's just to tap in, tune in and utilize it and become more conscious of who you are. Hopefully I'll see you there on the 29th at the Speakers Club event, Marcus Garvey, from 5 till 8. It will be great. Just keep in tune to rise to the occasion, to come to that occasion. Brother Minty will keep it.
Yes, I'll keep you informed on that, man. Okay. Hortense, sorry we can't read out audios like that or listen to them, so because we don't know what's on them. So sorry about that, Hortense. Yeah, Nafia, we got that. Thank you, sis. Bless you, and I hope you're well. Enough respect. Okay. So on that note, we're going to call it that. Thank you for all the texts and the missed calls and whatnot. And you know, it's been a great start to the year, and hopefully we're going to continue in that vein, embracing ourselves as African people and being proud of who we are and of our ways and our traditions. And obviously not everything we did in the past we're going to copy or follow, I should say, but certain things that have great benefit to us. The partner system is one of those things. It didn't just come from Jamaica, it came from Africa. So we have to recognize that these systems, these social economic systems, are fantastic and totally beneficial to African people. Our ways are totally beneficial for us. If you look at our history, you'll see how much they benefited us. Yeah, so there's no getting away from it, man. So okay, on that note, this is what we call a new season. We started what the people call the new year with what they say the celebration of the Haitian Revolution and the last day of Kwanzaa, which is Imani. So this new season is your time now. The new sun is representative of you. The sun having longer days is representative of the days which are going to shine brighter for you. That's what it means. We are reflections of the earth. So the greatness is coming your way. Just remember that. Keep that in your mind. But you've got to start by having a vision. As Bob said right at the beginning, vision to reality. If you don't have a vision, then we can't complete nothing. There's nothing to aim for, so you're not going to be able to harness your powers to focus on that one thing, to manifest that intention, that positive, powerful intention. That's what gets you where you want, you know, that intention, that determination that comes from within you and is brought out or is generated out some way, somehow, man. It gets picked up. This is just my experience, man. We can't go into loads of details now, but I've achieved a lot.
And in every season, the objective is to see the sun, because the sun is the light. And if you look at every season, you've got thunder, you've got storms, you've got snow, you've got heat, but it's to see the light in every season lovely, that you're in.
But you know, there's a saying that true success is going to failure, from failure to failure, without losing enthusiasm. Because you're always seeing the sun in your mind, man. You're always seeing the positive. So it doesn't matter what happens in the world to you. You're always going to keep on going until you get what you want, man. So because you're always seeing the sun, the light, the positivity, as you've said, bro, in your mind. So I love that saying. That's brilliant. So on that note, we want you to continually see the sun. I love that season, bro, that season breakdown. I want you to continually see the sun. And hopefully this song is going to put you in that frame of mind to make you recognize it's your time. It's your life,
and things will come to light.
It's your life, it's your life, it's your light to make your life. You are the sun. You make the sun shine in your life the way you want it to shine. But you have to be confident and determined to make that light shine. It's all up to you, King. It's all up to you, Queen.
To put food on your table, and we're talking about healthy food, not junk food, spiritual food.
Yes, I. So we're going to be here every week telling you the same thing.
Every strength. We're going to be here every strength.
We don't do
no weakness here. We're conscious, man. So we don't use no trick words.
Yeah, cramp and paralyze, all these concepts, you know. Yeah.
We don't want you weekend at the weekend. We want you strong and conscious,
man.
You know, so to rise up.
All right.
To the strength that you have. We don't have no weekdays. We all have strong days.
We have strong days, see, man. I like that, King, man. That's right. So, yeah, man, it's every strong we're going to be here, man, and just giving you more strength and more powers, man, and more encouragement and more upliftment. And it's just finishing off on that word you said about courage. To build courage, we have to encourage. We have to keep that light blazing, that fire blazing, that light shining. And if you don't feel it in you now, I'm going to give it to you. Jammers is going to give it to you. The callers and the texters are going to give you that energy. It's your time to shine, man. It's your time, man. So on that note, I want to just say thank you. And I'm going to see you next week, same time. My name is Minty, my co-host. My co-pilot has been the one, DS Jammers. Thank you, Jammers, for coming in.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for the ancestors for keeping me alive so I could deliver a message to the people. And thank you for listening. Stay conscious.
Enough respect. Yes, man. Enough respect every time, man. So we're going to see you next week, same place, same time. My name is Minty. This is the Rise to the Occasion show. Rastafari.